Welcome back.
Okay. Well, Steve, before we get on to matters on the pitch, there's been a couple of big stories going on over the break. First of all, regarding Everton, their points deduction. I don't know what you thought to that, your reaction to that when you saw they'd been deducted those 10 points.
Yeah, I can't really comment on how it happened and the process of the decision. That's not my bag at all. I find all of that stuff a struggle to understand. So can't really comment on that. We play them soon. And for me, my first thought was it's going to be an even tougher game now. It's one that when it comes around, obviously we're focused on this weekend first, but when it comes around, it's going to add to the challenge of playing against them. So we'll have to be ready for that.
The other thing we've had is this vote from all Premier League clubs regarding loans from clubs related to you. Forest voted to leave the rule as it is. Did you have much sort of say in that? What were your thoughts and feelings?
No, it's one for the board, I guess, and Ross, the sporting director, in terms of that. It's we've just been focused on the players who have been here through international break and working with them, and obviously now the players are starting to come back and getting ready for the weekend now. But not something I've had to think about, to be honest.
Do you think it was something that they had a lot of discussions about behind the scenes that they thought carefully
honestly,
about?
I'm sure somebody can give you a view on it from the club, but sorry, I'm not that person.
And in terms of what's been going on over the break, we did see two of your players withdraw from their respective squads, Taiwo Awoniyi and Anthony Elanga. How are they? Are they available for this weekend?
Bad news with Taiwo, so he's going to be out for months. He's had to have surgery, so that's a difficult moment for him, and obviously for us. Obviously, we'll support him now to get him back as quick and as fit as he can. But yeah, really unfortunate situation for him where like I said, it's going to set him back. So that's not good news. Anthony, pulled out at a scan just after the West Ham game and had a bit of a medial knee injury. So he's progressing well and is back out training. And obviously Murillo's the one that came off with a hamstring at West Ham as well, and Danilo limped off as well. So not the best news in the world through the international break, but we never look for excuses. We'll never dwell on it. We'll focus on the players that will be available, and that's where our attention lies. Obviously, while supporting the guys who are injured to get back as quick as they can.
You say you never use it as an excuse, but to lose a player like Taiwo Awoniyi, who's been so crucial for you with his goals, that's a huge blow for you.
I mean, firstly, it's a blow for him because he's you're right. He's become an important player for us, and the goals that he has scored and will score going forward, will show that importance. But he's such a good guy, such a good pro, desperate to do well, and to get an injury like this is harsh on him, to be honest. But it's happened. He's got to use it now, and we've got to support him in the process of coming back stronger. And he's shown that he's done that once before here, and I'm sure he'll give everything again like he did last time. If you think how well he did when he returned last season. It's given him a good sort of reference point to be able to do that again. So we'll support him on that. But like you said in the question, we ain't going to look for excuses. We don't work that way. Everything that we've done over the last couple of years is about fighting against setbacks, and any negativity or any bad luck we've used to motivate us. And this will be another example of that.
What is the specific injury, and will we see him again this season? Do you know the length?
Yeah,
of
no, we'll
time?
definitely see him. Yeah, we'll definitely see him back this season. But it's groin surgery, so it's going to take a little while for sure. But yeah, no, we'll definitely see him.
Well, moving on, you've got to come into this game now against Brighton without him and prepare without him. But how confident are you feeling? Obviously, you've got to bounce back from that real frustration and disappointment against West Ham.
Yeah, no, definitely. And obviously, in the national break, it can drag out even longer. I mean, on West Ham, it's a game that we could have won for sure. Really frustrated in the manner of the way we give the goals away with the set pieces and not following the plan. And obviously, the first goal was a giveaway. So to give away the 3 goals that we did, but then to score the 2 that we had to work really hard for and score good goals right off the plan was frustrating for sure. And that is the overriding feeling that we've had from that game. But I also know that there were parts of that performance that were really good, both with and without the ball. We can't lose sight of that. We constantly talk about really trying to establish ourselves in this league and trying, if you can, make progress as well. And to do that, you have to play at a good level, on a consistent basis. And we are putting a big emphasis on how we want to play and performance levels and all that sort of stuff. And sometimes you can play well and not win, and like I said, general play against West Ham was good. Set pieces on them 2 occasions were not good, and that's cost us. You can look at it and go, is that a little tiny sign of progress? That's what's cost us the game. Whereas maybe this time last year we were just getting completely outplayed and fighting to maybe keep up in games. So we are. We know where we are. We know how much work we have to do and how long it's going to take to get to where we really want to get to. I mean, we won't lose sight of where we've come from either. But we're really committing to the plan and really committing to how we want to go about our work. And sometimes that will look fine. Other times it will look like we're having a couple of setbacks. But we'll stay on task and enjoy being together and hopefully over the course of time continue to progress, because that's what the journey's been for the last 2 years, and we're really motivated to keep that going.
Recent results from Brighton in the Premier League haven't been maybe what we come to expect of them recently. What are you expecting from them on Saturday?
Well, it's the first game back after international break, so that always adds to, for everybody, us, them and every other team this weekend. So it always adds a little bit of context to the planning. Obviously, it's a bit of an accelerated programme because you don't get everybody. We've got players returning, a lot of players just returning back today, and I'm sure them and everyone else will be the same as well. So it's always a little bit different. Listen, we Brighton's, we talk about progression and trajectory. Brighton's has been one that we can all, from the outside looking in, admire and see that they obviously do things in a really good way, including what you see on the pitch. So we're mindful of that, and then you look at the game in isolation, and we've got to be ready. They've got some really good players playing in the brand that they play, and we're aware of that, but we want the most influencing factor of the game to be on our contribution and what we do, and that's really where we're at. That's where we're at, because, like I said to you before, if we're trying to become something and be a certain way, then that's on us doing that, and you only do that by sticking to a set of principles, game in, game out. And sometimes you adhere to it and you perform it in a good way. Other times you don't, particularly when you're where we are in terms of trying to be sustainable in the league. So, what am I saying? Really tough game, of course, but we're really focused on what we can contribute to making it a positive day for us.
Thanks.
You too. You go, Steve. Deja vu, by the way.
Steve, time to go again after the break.
Yeah.
You built a good platform in the first third of the season or thereabouts. What can you still do better? I know it's baby steps, but what bits can you improve?
Oh yeah, loads. I mean, listen, we know that I could be sitting here now knowing that we could and should have more points and missed a couple of good opportunities to take points. But I also know that this time last season, I think we were bottom of the league, and I think like we've already spoke about, we can't lose sight of both of them things. You know, that let's have the motivation to keep trying to improve and keep picking up more points than what we might have, last season and in previous periods, but also don't get too carried away and not lose sight of the fact of where we've come from, and where we're at. So so that's both of them things are motivating to go like, look, we've come from a much worse position than where we are now, but we also know that we can do better as well, and they're the two driving forces really behind the motivation of how we want to work, and that's where we're at.
And as you touched on already, Brighton, a very good role model for clubs like yourselves, the way they go about their business on and off the pitch. But you've actually got a very good record on the pitch against them recently, in this fixture as well. You maybe have found a way to work them out, have you?
Well, I'm not going to say that, because sort of every game's different, and every time you come up against an opponent, it always looks a bit different to the last time you played them. We'll have a different team. They will as well, in terms of personnel on the pitch and timing of the season. When we played them the end of last season, the context was different in terms of, there was, I think, someone told me there was only 6 games to go, and we all knew where we were at that time last season. So I'm not saying it's any less pressure or any more relaxed. It's not, but obviously there's a different time of season. Listen, as I said, you're right in what you said in the question. There's loads to look at Brighton and talk about all the good things they've done as a club and coming up against a good team. But we're just in a phase, and we want to stay in a phase where it's about us, and we're only thinking internal. We're only thinking about, the things that we can do in games that can make us play in a performance level that we want, that we believe ultimately will win the amount of games that we want to win.
Perfect, thank you.
Thanks, Ivan.
No.
How you doing? You all right? Good.
Just wanted to ask just a general question really on the Premier League. It feels like it's been a bit of a difficult time for the league recently, if you include Everton and then the Times investigation into Tottenham. There seems to be some issues as well surrounding funding for EFL clubs. I just wondered what your thoughts were of being in the Premier League, managing the Premier League. Is it still living up to its, what many people say is still the greatest league in the world?
Oh, that's a good question. Who do I start with that one? Well, on the latter part of the question, yeah, we are loving being in the Premier League. It definitely comes with the scrutiny and the spotlight and the pressure and the just high levels of opponents. But it's, of course, it's the place that you want to be. The highs can be really high and the lows can be low, and all of them things get really scrutinised and sometimes talked too overboard about, to be honest. But it's from a sporting, context, playing in all of these stadiums and against all of these teams and trying to be, a good version of yourself as well. And that is an honour really, and a privilege, especially at a football club like this, where you're representing more than just a team on the pitch. You're representing a history, a culture, and a status in the game in this country. There's no doubt about that, particularly when we play here. That's where we want to be. We want to be showcasing Nottingham and Nottingham Forest on the world level, because it deserves that. Up to now, the team have shown that they've given everything on the pitch. We're talking about last season and this season. And the fans have just excelled, haven't they, and built this amazing reputation around the world for how to support a football club. So that's where we want to be. And as I repeat, Nottingham deserves to be there. The stuff on I think the governance of the game and all of that stuff that you mentioned, I honestly, maybe if I should do, I apologise, but I don't think about it too much. It's there's enough to think about with getting ready for the next game and training and the team and player availability and all that sort of stuff. So there's enough going on internally here to sort of keep my mind focused. In the end, I just want you all want a great game, you all want a good league, and you want the supporters to enjoy supporting their team in a sporting way, and that's always where my focus is here with our supporters, and hopefully that'll be around the league as well.
Regarding funding for the EFL clubs, you've obviously managed this club in the Championship, you've managed in the Championship. What are some of the struggles, what are the challenges that often face the EFL clubs with this Championship?
I'm sorry, I really don't know, because I don't know what the funding levels are. I know that there's more money in the Premier League, and you heard about the TV money. I don't know what the numbers are and stuff like that, but I know that getting the Premier League has obviously brought not just more income into the club, but has brought a lot of income into the city, and that makes me feel really good, because I've talked openly about how special this city is. So to think that there's a lot of good things happening outside of the club in terms of investment is good, but in terms of what it's like in the EFL, and I really don't know too much about it. What I do hope though is that we can keep this brilliant pyramid going, and what makes this country unique. I've worked at Wrexham that have for 12 years, which was League One, League Two, and even got relegated. When I was there as well, and that story's become well known now because of what's happened in recent years. And I've worked in sort of Championship and now Premier League, all in different jobs at different levels, and it's just the pyramid is just an amazing place from top to bottom. So we've got to continue to come together and make sure that exists.
Thanks, Steve. Good luck this week.
You too, mate.
Jake?
Hi, Steve. Okay.
All right, Jake.
Just wanted to find out a bit more on the injury update. Of course, you said about Awoniyi and Elanga. Is everyone else fine fit? Any of the players coming back?
We'll see. Obviously, like I said, Murillo, unfortunately, had a setback with his hamstring at West Ham. I guess if you do it, there's a tiny blessing that it was going into an international break, so he wouldn't have missed a game the week after. But so yeah, that was a blow for him, because he's obviously doing well, and a young player that we've enjoyed giving an opportunity to, and has taken it. And Danilo, actually, I don't know if you noticed, Danilo really limped off as well with an ankle sprain at the end as well. So yeah, it's not been the best international break in terms of player availability with injuries, but I don't want to dwell on it too much, to be honest. We have enough players, and we'll focus on the ones who are ready to go.
Is there any update on Hudson-Odoi at all?
Callum's just about to join back in training, so he's been on the grass a little bit doing the final stages of rehab, and yeah, hopefully in the coming weeks he can be available. Yeah.
We've spoken quite a lot in pre and post matches about the impact of injuries on Forest, and it seems to be something that's affecting a lot of
Yeah.
the Premier League. I think Brighton have 12, 13, 14 out for this game. Why do you think we are seeing injuries?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of investigation. Sounds like it's something untoward, but I think there's a lot of research now going into the modern game, and what I mean by that is I think of the longer games. I think of in terms of the injury time. I think of the stoppages. I think we talked last time about the stop. There seems to be a lot of stoppages in games now with the VAR and even other things, and players now have to go off and wait 30 seconds before they come back on. So there's loads of things that seem a little bit different. Sorry, not loads of things, but there's some things that definitely feel a little bit different in a football match now. That maybe is a contributing factor to the increase of injuries and the types of injuries as well. Okay, some clubs will be different. So, we come up against a team that are playing European football, or some teams are playing in cup competitions. Some guys would have played 2 games in international break. Some guys would have gone and played nothing. And sometimes when you go away in international duty and don't do much, and then you come back into the demands of the Premier League, then that can be, an aspect that's affecting injuries as well. So then you have to go into the individuals. We signed a lot of players in the summer that really didn't have a proper pre-season, because of one reason or another, whether we signed them late in the window or they maybe weren't in the place they wanted to be at the club that we got them from. So then they were not following the games and the the training program there. And then they come to us and we put them straight into a Premier League environment, which is of the highest physical demands. And a lot of them players have picked up injuries. So that's maybe where we're at a little bit about, maybe we need to sign players a bit earlier in transfer windows in the summer and get pre-seasons into them. I think we've definitely been affected by, a lack of robust work into players, and then putting them into, like I said, the demands of the Premier League. And some players are still in that process of getting really, really Premier League fit, which I know sounds not right this time of the year, but we've had to make changes this year which we wouldn't want to normally make in games with substitutions, but we've had to because players are maxed out. So yeah, loads of things that is now getting looked at, and always got your fingers crossed for a bit of luck as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, once the Premier League season and even through international breaks when players are off playing a couple games, there's not really that opportunity to get up to speed.
Yeah, and also a big factor in sort of not getting injured, if you like, is recovery. It is some downtime and things like that. It's that's really important, whether it's the recovery strategies used at training grounds, whether it's create more time where a place can sleep, which is a massive factor of recovery, where is training load, where is sometimes days off, that's recovery is a huge factor in one, being ready to play games in a physical way, and two not getting injured as well. So all of these things are getting looked at for sure.
And just finally, one final question on Brighton this weekend. You said you were going to be all out focused on your contribution. What will you need to contribute to get a result from the game?
Well, I think first of all we've got to be confident and have belief in the plan that we'll have in place, and individuals need to show that as well, and then commit to it, of course. You're going to have to do everything well against them. There's no doubt about that in terms of attacking and defending, and then really pick your moments if we create them to try and hurt them. So everything really, but we'll be clear on how we want to go about the game, and it'll just be about sort of backing the lads and then believing themselves in delivering it.